Gang, today we are talking about this bad boy, the Sony A1 Mark II, which is an exceptional camera that I absolutely love. And probably unlike most other videos you've seen on this camera, I'm not going to be talking about any specs because you've probably watched a million videos on the specs, the easily quantifiable things that nerds like talking about, but I'm going to talk about purely the experience of what it's like to use this camera, because that is the most important thing. And that's probably the thing that you don't have access to right now. And so if you don't know who I am JP. I'm a full-time professional photographer creating for the biggest brands across the world. And I also wrote a book called Street Tools with everything that I know as a photographer. Right, so to kick things off, I am not a technical photographer. I'm more of a creative photographer. And there's a slight difference between that, because some photographers will use this camera very, very differently to how I use this camera. So for example, some photographers will have to take a photo and then immediately transmit the image from the camera to an off-site editor who can then upload it to their agency's network so news publications can use them. I don't do that, I've never done that, and I don't even know how to do that. Whereas my style of photography is way more on the creative side. I get many more shots on goal as opposed to needing to nail this moment exactly and send it off no matter what. And so back to this camera. This camera is absolutely exceptional, but I would never use it for any of my personal stuff. And so the experience of using it is honestly 10 out of 10 in terms of allowing you to create your images for a bunch of different reasons. So I've had the Sony A1, which was again another exceptional camera, and now the A1 II, and I've had this since pretty much release. If I have the chance to which one I want to use, it's always this one, which I think says quite a lot for the updates between the two different models. And so in no particular order, the ergonomics on this thing are fantastic. It's all just a little bit softer, and everything just feels like it's put in exactly the right place. I can touch pretty much any button I want and need to without even really moving my hand off the shutter button, which then means that I'm able to very quickly react and take photos when I need to. And yeah, this thing is just so solid. I'll be honest, I've dropped it several times. One time actually had a wandered strap just snap on me, which was fun, and so it broke my G Master 2 2470. Didn't do anything to this, so that was good news. And I've only had one software issue where for some reason the focus point would just disappear and not come back, and the camera wouldn't focus at all. But that got updated with software, so we should hopefully be way past that and haven't had any issues in the last 6 months. But the thing that honestly makes me choose this camera over the A1 is this. The flippy screen is unrivaled. So to clarify, I like using the EVF way more than I like using the flippy screen, because you get a much clearer, cleaner image being kind of displayed to you. You don't get any reflections when your eye is up at the EVF. But oh my god, sometimes on my briefs, clients want super low angle wide shots. I have no idea what I'm focusing on if I've just got the little two-way flippy screen. I'm having to like lie on the floor, but then I'm not as agile in moving the camera. Whereas with this, I can literally get any angle, whether it's low, whether it's high, whether it's round a corner. I can see exactly what I'm photographing every single time, which I thought wasn't going to be that much of a benefit, and it turned out to be an absolutely massive one. And now on to the images that this camera produces. For my style of photography, it is insane, and I love it, because the 50 megapixel resolution means that I can crop in and the images can still look good. Because how I like to shoot is I like to make sure that I capture everything in the way that I think I want it, and then slowly crop and punch my way in so it's as tight and as accurate as I can possibly make it. And this was an issue when I was using other cameras, because sometimes you'd be trying to crop in, but you'd miss focus very slightly. But as you get closer into your subject, it becomes more obvious that you've missed. But the autofocus on this, it doesn't miss unless I've messed it up, which is so mad because I've never used another camera that performs like this. And so not only do I have the creative flexibility that the resolution provides, the fact that it can take 30 photos a second when I want it to, otherwise it fills your memory card too quickly, that means that I don't miss the shot. That's unheard of. That is so insane. Let's imagine that you're at, I don't know, a tennis match, and someone is celebrating. The difference between them going, yeah, and yeah, is massive in a photo. It communicates so much more. And so by shooting at 30 photos a second, that allows you to get into the perfect moment, which is game changing. It means that you just nail the photo that you want to shoot rather than going, it was between these two frames, which then just increases the likelihood that you can get booked again. So you end up making more money by using the expensive camera. And then to edit my Leica files, my Fuji files, they grind my M1 Max spec'd out laptop. This doesn't. This absolutely flies through it, which is absolutely insane, and I love it for that. But the elephant in the room, and I know that a lot of commercial photographers also feel this way, but this camera is too good for me to use personally, which feels so stupid when I say it, but this is honestly pretty much the perfect camera if you're looking at it objectively. If your goal is to get the best images you can, this is the camera you want. But if you want to have more fun, then you need to get something, well, you don't need to, but you'd find more joy and more satisfaction in a camera that is just more fun, that has more quirks, that just isn't as good as this. And it's probably because we use our kit all the time and we're so used to lasering, we've got almost too proficient at using it. But if I'm going out for a photo walk in the next 5 minutes and I'm picking up my Leica or my Fuji, even though there's many downsides to using their stuff, and I never pick up this. But for any commercial job, any job where I have to get the photos, there is no other camera that I'm picking up other than this. And on that note, let me know your thoughts. Let me know whether you agree. I'm sure that people will say the exact same thing about the Nikon Z9 or the Canon R3, I think it is. They're all very similar in terms of what they can do. But yeah, let me know and leave a comment down below. Like the video if you got this far, and see you in the streets.